The 2017 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, T-Mobile, Union Pay, and Blizzard Entertainment.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2017 Overwatch World Cup Shanghai group stage. Just saw two matches here on stage, China versus Romania, and then what just concluded was Hong Kong versus Norway. Hong Kong able to take one game off of Norway there to end that set 3-1. Very interesting stuff there, and we'll see how that continues to play out in the groups. But now we're setting our sights here to France versus Argentina. Zoe, you had a chance to talk with France. What did we learn from this team?
Yeah, I sat together with avec le 6, and the guys basically just told me that they didn't scrim at all.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Wait, like they didn't scrim at all in Shanghai?
No, they didn't. They literally just came here, relaxed, you know, just taking it easy, and they just felt like, we don't really need that. That's not what they said. That's me paraphrasing, but still, they were just so confident. I know they've been playing a lot together, obviously, already before the tournament anyway.
I mean,
like
Rogue.
It's Rogue, right? So they don't need to get to know each other per se. I know they've been practicing a lot with Sombra. They're playing a lot more Sombra in their comp. I know that AKM will most likely be on Diva and not on Soldier. And they will be playing with one support. That's about as much as I got out of them. So we're only going to see Winston and Lucio. But other than that, they're just like...
That's a total contrast. That couldn't be more different from Argentina. These guys have been practicing 6+ hours a day, they told me, before they even got here. And then once they got here, they're one of the first teams to get to the practice area. So friendly, grabbing scrims with Hong Kong right away, and then lots of other teams. I think they said that they scrimmed everybody except Denmark and France. Literally everybody else.
Wow. Okay. So this is like polar opposites here. Well, you know, I mean, Team France, they are a dominant team, right? One of the best. They just came off of a victory from the Beat Invitational just a couple days ago. This team it's a fantastic squad, Flame. You're very familiar with them.
It's an arrogant squad. They haven't scrimmed coming into here, but they're a great team, and they're proven. You know, they came in here. It's not that they don't need to scrim, it's that they know that they're kind of on a level, I think, above most of the teams here, or at least that's how they perceive it. They have the LAN experience, they have the team experience, and they know what they're doing. This isn't foreign to them in any way, so I think that comfort is going to be a big part here.
And then for the Argentina side, this is a roster with a couple people who, you know, maybe not as well known to the rest of the Overwatch community, but looking to really make a name for themselves here, especially against a team like France. Would be massive.
Yeah, I want to point out Leviathan and Klaus, they're on two rival teams actually in South America, and they had to come together to form this Argentina team. So this is going to be a little bit of putting aside the egos, putting aside the old bad blood, and coming together for the greater good.
Yeah, right, just forming the pieces together. I'm just shocked. I'm honestly shocked that France, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand, I get it, right? Like, you're super confident, you don't have to worry too much about it, and you know, it's going to show in their face and their expression. I think they know they're coming out here and they're set on a 4-0 victory. But for Argentina, how huge would this be if they're able to get just one win off of this team?
I mean, one win I think is, you're selling them a little short. We talked to them actually yesterday, and they said that they were winning scrims against China, against Hong Kong. Like, you can't not, that means a lot, I think.
They went 4-2 against Norway as well.
And they're having a good time. They actually picked this team before the voting was even a thing. Like, they had a team set before the committee existed, and they were scrimming before the committee existed.
Yeah, not even a team set. They held tryouts to fix that team.
They knew what they were doing. They're here to win. They want to win. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to Argentina, and they have a lot to prove here. This is definitely going to be the toughest match, maybe arguably the hardest match of any group stage going into Rogue or France immediately. So if they can come out here with a few wins, maybe catch Rogue, who hasn't scrimmed off guard, it's a huge momentum boost for them going forward.
Exactly. I totally agree with that one. All right, guys. This is going to be a great matchup, and I cannot wait, folks. It's time for France versus Argentina. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Take it away, casters.
All right, guys, Dylan Monte Cristo here for France versus Argentina, and we will see if France's Zoolander deep relaxation style preparation is good against actual training.
Right. I have to go against this narrative a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
Because they were just victorious in the Beat Invitational.
Sure,
they came off a win at TakeOver 2. And we can talk about how Argentina, out of all the World Cup teams that are not actually like a real professional team, has had months of practice compared to most of the other squads we're seeing here. But if you're France, I don't think you have a lot to gain by scrimming the other teams here. You're already confident. You've been practicing for the last 6-8 months already. So coming in here and scrimming is only giving the other teams more information about your play style.
I can see that point. Okay.
If I was France/Rogue, I'd be saying, hey, why would we try and make these other teams better when we have so much experience already?
I suppose. Well, for Argentina, all I got to say is, would the real Alan Savati please stand up? I'm confused here a little bit, but either way, I'm
it's a very common name in Argentina.
Apparently, 3 on the same team. What a coincidence. But
hey, there are 2 beignets on the French team, so like, you know.
That's true. That's true. It's like John Smith, the John Smith of Argentina, apparently. Well, here we are in Hollywood, guys. France versus Argentina, of course. And Argentina, you know, you could say pretty easily on paper the underdogs here, but a lot of practice coming into it. These guys are taking it very seriously.
Yes.
We'll see what they can do.
I do think it's impressive, too, how devoted this Argentinian roster has been. Like they said, coming in, already fixing the team even before the committee had a chance to make those selections. So it was just sort of a formality at that point. But a lot of dedication, and especially a lot of these South American regions do have, not the easiest time scrimming versus other continents due to ping. So this is a really big showcase for them and what they can do here.
Well, when we were talking to them yesterday, they were saying that they had been scrimming Brazilian teams a lot, actually. And Brazil, of course, a country with a huge esports scene, a lot of good talent there, too. So, getting what practice they can on the better ping they can find. Argentina on the attack first here on Hollywood.
Yeah, of course, France will be going for a pretty standard composition. France/Rogue.
It's going to be hard to call them France, right?
Yeah, it is going to be very hard to call them France. France/Rogue, they're so used to this meta right now, of course. Really, the kings of the dive in North America when they were competing there.
Very much so. Some of the originators of those original dive strategies that a lot of teams are experimenting with. Soon, of course, legendary Tracer player in the West at this point. All-around great team, and here we go. Trying to get on the point right now.
Yeah, Argentina's trying a slow push around because they want to hack the health pack in the bottom part of the map and try and retreat back to that as they can. But soon, pretty much winning this Tracer duel against Klaus, and there was no health pack to take there.
It's a tough start for Argentina. DDX so close to that EMP, but if only Klaus had stayed alive, they wouldn't need to be backing out right now. Soon getting pretty close to that pulse bomb, actually. Very close. This could be a concern. Argentina trying to back off, but it's a bit of a scattered retreat, and Leviathan taken out on the disengage. So it's going to be a little bit of time before Argentina comes back.
Yeah, I do like the tactic Argentina had there with the attack Sombra. You do want to flank around that left side as you come in to make sure that you have a large health pack to deal with, and then you can sort of invade the rest of the territory from there. But unfortunately, with Klaus losing the Tracer duel, really didn't give them the necessary punch. Nico,
well, he's still out of the Diva suit, too, so that's going to be a problem for them as they push in, gets the suit back just in time. Nox, though, with that nano boost, trying to find the kill on DDX. They get the sound barrier off on the Argentina side, and Nox has to pop the Primal Rage. Let's see if Argentina know with Klaus going down, it's going to be tough for them to make any progress, and yeah, they're already backing away.
Yeah, interesting that we saw them drop the nano boost onto Nox right there, right at the start of that fight instead of holding off for a nano blade, but it does successfully zone people out of security, and there we go. Nico actually was hacked there, but does overcome it in the end, waits it out, and here comes the Dragon Blade.
Now DDX used that EMP, but they didn't seem to have much follow-up. Nico finds the kill onto Battletoad with that Dragon Blade, soon getting a bit of cleanup on the Tracer as well. And it's going to be another solid defense. Yeah, Nico does go down at the very end, but it's still looking pretty good for France here.
I mean, but because he was the last one to die, the respawns are going to be in the advantage of Argentina, so there is a window of opportunity here. They have to go fast, and Beast doesn't have a Diva suit right now.
Yeah, they're going to try to press whatever little advantage they can get. Leviathan up on the high ground, so close to that tac visor. Should get it soon, but already zoned out now by AKM. Has to go on the run. Oh, Leviathan taken down by Nox. Got that nano boost just in time to get the killing blows, and Argentina on the run again. They're going to come back into it with a pretty good ult advantage, though, so maybe this next push is going to be it, and it kind of has to be it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and that was a great combination between AKM and Nox to deny any possible use of the tac visor. France using the nano boost pretty aggressively on Nox, but the cleanup kills have been coming through, and it has been worth it. So EDX needs this EMP. They've got 1, 2, maybe 2 pushes left in him.
He needs to get it a bit faster now. He's not getting that charge. Got to hack that health pack. Here comes Leviathan with the tac visor. Has to avoid that self-destruct that takes down Battletoad. Got 2 with his ultimate, but now he's got Soon to deal with. Not anymore. Soon taken out, but Nox with a bit of revenge. It's a brawl. But so far, Argentina, a little bit of purchase on the point. Unco does fall, so it looks like they might be able to claim it right here.
Well, that time, AKM was not in position to actually deny the tac visor, so the first 2 picks coming through for Argentina ended up working out, and they're going to have a hard time contesting this with that EMP coming out.
All right, EMP just to secure the point, I suppose. France not giving up easily, but this may cost them on point B if they end up losing it. They are so close to giving this one up. EDX doing what he can. Nico coming back. If Nico has a big dragon blade, this could be good. Oh, Nico taking down by Necta, though. That will be the point. It was close.
That was a little close there with Nico getting both TPS at the end of that fight, but not enough HP just to stay on the cart there. DDX continuing to play this Sombra through the streets phase here on Hollywood, so I don't know about this. We'll have to see if it works out for them, but they don't have a lot of high ground control, Argentina.
True enough. Getting Sombra up there doesn't help you a whole lot. AKM, ooh, they finally burned down Necta. And France regrouping a little bit. They've bought themselves some breathing room, at least at the beginning of the streets phase.
Payload's still moving, though. We're waiting just a little bit.
Not anymore.
Finally pushing them off the cart. So Argentina falling back and slowly getting back up to that EMP again. If you can get that Sombra up onto the high ground, then chance to do a drop-down EMP.
Sure enough. Klaus with the pulse bomb. Here's the Tracer duel again. Not a duel Soon loses too often. Meanwhile, Nox with that nano boost has to contest against the sound barrier from Argentina. They've still got some ultimates to use, so maybe they can put together a win here. It's a good fight so far. Nox goes down. Yeah, looks like they should be able to get the payload moving a little bit. Leviathan using that tac visor for the cleanup. France forced to fall back. And finally, Argentina going to make some progress with this payload.
The thing France is doing, though, that's very interesting is what we're seeing them use the nano boost for is just for Nox. And what that's doing is it's actually forcing the support ultimates out of Argentina. Therefore, when Nico has the Dragon Blade up, it's not like they're all inning on a nano blade. So he's able to clean that up as long as there isn't a sound barrier on the other side.
Well, high EMP coming in from Argentina. Where's the follow-up, though? Leviathan goes down. That's not the follow-up they were looking for. France got that sound barrier off after the EMP, and Nico, even though he's hacked right now, he's got that Dragon Blade, but he may not need to use it. Nope, pulls it out. What's he going to get with it? Waiting for it. Hacked! Hacked again, and that was well handled, actually, by Argentina. Nico handled.
Yeah, I thought he had an opportunity, but only the tanks in the front line, and getting hacked at the end of that, making sure he wasn't going to have that mobility. Still, France able to use the closer spawn, though, start coming back, start loading onto the cart, and Nox buying enough time with the Primal Rage.
Now, Argentina, though, certainly making it competitive here in Streets phase, but they have run out of time. They need to make this push be huge. And are they even going to get to the payload? It's going to be a race, man. I don't even know if they can get there.
Well, they're setting up big zones right now, and the nano boost is going to come down onto Nox again.
Klaus died. That's it. They caught Klaus as he was coming in. They couldn't get to it. So, could have been a little bit longer of a push, but in the end, France does hold strong. I almost called him rogue there. It's tough. I admit it. That's what the pause is about, in case you're wondering. In the end, though, France, also known as rogue sometimes, does hold Argentina to just 1 point. So they put themselves in a great position. they only have to push the payload maybe 2/3 of the way through Street. So if you're a France fan or a Rogue fan, maybe, you're feeling pretty confident coming into this attack round.
Sure you are. And you also have to consider, though, that one thing France, I think, needs to do a little bit better is Leviathan is actually getting some pretty good tac visors overall. And AKM, of course, very well known for his soldier play, not so well known for his diva play, but they need to tighten up their positioning a little bit to make sure that he's not going to get these big kills, because almost all of Argentina's success was based off of the soldier ultimates mowing down the team and then getting some movement on the payload.
Well, France looks a little bit rusty right now, basically. And they look rusty in the kind of way that you'd sort of expect to be fixed as the match goes on, so we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. Certainly a couple little points here and there, like you mentioned, to work on, but see what they can do.
Okay, looks like DDX is going to be sticking with the Sombra, at least for the moment, on this defensive round from Argentina. And France switching Nico, who does flex between Genji and Diva, over to that Diva, and AKM, of course, on the soldier. So I think a little bit better known for AKM with his soldier, and of course previously McCree play, even though we're unlikely to see it on this patch.
That would be nice. Oh well.
But pretty standard stuff for Hollywood. If you're going to try and defend the top of Cafe, or attack from the top of Cafe to maybe make a long flank around.
Yep.
So
here we go. Argentina on the defense. France, of course, on the offense. And they're coming in. I like the defense matrix right at the beginning, just in case you have like a biotic grenade coming through or something. You always want to be careful with that.
Yeah, just a little bit of caution, as you say. So
you never know.
Looks like AKM, they're just going to take a very forward and aggressive approach to the point right now, not trying to take any high ground at all.
All right. Yeah, just kind of milling around as Nox edges forward onto the point. Soon is there. Klaus getting forced back just a little bit. Argentina pushed back into a corner, but now they're on the attack. Nox very low. If they can pick him, that's the end of the push for France, but they managed to keep him up. Nox's health regenning as we speak, getting those heals. Soon on the escape, comes back in for a bit of damage. Dangerous positioning for him. Unko actually going down, as does Soon. So Argentina finally starting to put that defense together, and it looks like they will be able to hold for now.
Yeah, really early EMP picked up too for Argentina, so that very successful in the end. And France saw an opening when they saw that Klaus had already used his rewind on Tracer, and so they tried to make an aggressive push over the point, but unfortunately DDX already doing a lot of work charging that ultimate up, and he's going to be back at about 50% once again. So France repulsed after their initial attempt. Are they going to try something a little bit trickier this time?
Well, they're gonna throw that pulse bomb into the sound barrier. No kills coming out of that one. Klaus still looking for a bit more damage on the Nox and Soon. Meanwhile, Leviathan smacked down. No tactical visor for you. What are you seeing in that tac visor? It's a giant gorilla paw. That's rough. Meanwhile, on the point, here comes the EMP for Argentina. Can they use it to retake this, though? DDX, nice hack on the Nico there. No defense matrix for a little bit, but he's kind of on his own. Not a lot of teammates left to help defend against France here.
Yeah, AKM never had an opportunity really to use that tac visor, but because they shut down the tac visor from Argentina, it wasn't the biggest deal. But they tried to be aggressive because they knew the Sombra EMP wasn't up, so both sound barriers coming out very early in that fight, but Nox managing to find the clutch kill over onto Leviathan, and that will earn them at least point A.
Sure enough. France will get the payload moving, and Argentina has to back away. I have much respect for anyone who names themselves Battletoad, as long as he's actually beaten that game, because that is hard.
Yeah, I've never beaten that game.
Me neither. If he actually has. Oh, okay. Well, Klaus.
That's actually
that was a very optimistic move.
That was a very optimistic pulse bomb, and the fact that he manages to die during it too, because there isn't so much wiggle room for this Argentina team, that was a bit of a throwaway. Klaus has not been too on point, I think, with his Tracer play this match so far.
Now, to me, the star's been DDX on this Sombra. I think he's played it really well. Leviathan, like you mentioned, had pretty good ults. Speaking of ults, AKM pulls out the tac visor. Trying to zone out Argentina. There's that EMP, though, from DDX. He dies as soon as he uses it, though. And now the follow-up from Argentina coming in. It's a brawl, but AKM does go down eventually. That payload stalled out for the moment. France is probably going to need to regroup. Yeah, definitely going to need to regroup after this.
And the ults forced out of France at the end there. The tac visor from AKM didn't accomplish much, but it did at least zone out Necta during the Primal Rage, so they didn't have to do that. But no real ground gained for the actual payload itself. And now they're staring at a situation where at least there isn't going to be a EMP to negate their sound barrier. But
oh man, Klaus went for another pulse bomb but didn't get anything out of it. Tranquility comes out now on the side of France. Unko trying to keep people alive. There's the sound barrier to fall up for that second defensive ult. Leviathan has the high ground, but he just doesn't have a great angle on Argentina. Meanwhile, the rest of his team kind of falling all around him, and he's going to have to back away. That may just be point B for France. Yeah. I think Argentina's going to get one more chance at the very end, but it's going to be close.
Even if they try and contest the cart right now, Dylan, there's a self-destruct and a Primal Rage to deal with. DDX being cute on the side, invisibly contesting the cart, but that's going to be a quick punch onto Soon, so maybe they can actually come back out of this. AKM does make it up on top of the bridge.
Oh, that was really sick from DDX. Get that angle onto the Soldier 76, but that payload is basically on the end there. And AKM coming in with the attack visor, more or less unopposed. And that may be it right there. If they can deal with this rampaging Winston, they can finish the map. AKM trying to do his job. Battletoad does go down. And that is it. France will take Hollywood.
It's just so hard to actually hold in that particular position, because if there's a D.Va that's pushing the cart and the Winston, they've got so much time. Right. And when it's only a couple of meters, you need just a few seconds to zone people off, and it's almost impossible to deal with that if you're Argentina. They made a good show of it, but couldn't quite get there in the end. It was admittedly relatively competitive. Only about a minute and a half left on the clock for France, and
all right,
are going to see a Sombra play of the match.
You know, like I mentioned in that last round, the highlight was really for me DDX. I think he had some pretty great Sombra play. Had the good EMPs. He built them extremely quickly, even for a Sombra, and seemed to always have the right hacks.
Yeah, certainly did. And I do wonder a little bit about France, because every attack they made was just so transparent and straightforward. Yeah. We didn't see really any sort of tactical maneuvers from them at any point in time, just sort of going through the motions of, that's what all their synergy from so many months of experience gets you, though.
Well, it's worked so far on map number 1 anyway. Argentina with the map choice coming into our control best of 3 in just a moment. And I feel like if Argentina can just tighten things up a little bit, we saw little things here and there. One member of the team goes into early, some overly optimistic moves. If they can just sort of rein that in a little bit, I think they're going to have a little bit more of a chance to really make a go of it against France.
Well, I think what we saw, too, is that they were better when they were spread out and trying more spread attacks, because when they were trying to cluster up, France would frequently divide them and kill them very quickly. France was much better about dealing with them in choke points, but when you got the long flank on the Soldier, if France was more frequently overcommitted to protecting a specific position, I think that opened up a lot more opportunities.
Yeah, I think this one could actually end up being pretty close. If France still kind of struggles with a little sort of, sloppiness issues here and there, and Argentina tightens things up like we're talking about, this could actually go the distance.
Yeah. I mean, at least it was a pretty competitive first map. And now that we're moving into a control map next, that's where a lot of the skirmishing becomes more important. So we'll see how the flanks are going to go here, and if they are going to switch AKM potentially back over to the to the D.Va and then bring back Nico on the Genji.
True enough. See what they can do. Looks like we are going to be going on to Nepal next for our control map. Pretty popular map these days.
Yeah, it is worth noting, too, that because France was the higher seed, they were able to select the first map. So now we are moving into Argentina's map selection as the losing team. So clearly they are going to be feeling more comfortable on this. Remember, it is a best of 3, not a best of 5 on control here at the Overwatch World Cup.
Welcome to Nepal. We got lots of elephant statues. Oh, yeah.
At this point, too, I think at least if we see the same kind of play from Argentina, because it is a more open point with the ability to fan out around it, could be a little bit more in Argentina's favor.
And mountains. We have lots of mountains, too. Did I forget to mention the mountains?
Yes, beautiful Himalayas.
Yeah. That's right. And bells in hard-to-reach places.
I'm not exactly sure how they ring that bell.
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, you have to be an Overwatch hero, I guess, to ring that one. That's what it's there for. Yeah.
You have to shoot it with...
You ring it to let people know that there's about to be a massive brawl in your sanctuary there, and everyone's like, okay, I guess I'll just stay inside buildings like that instead of go outside today. Thanks for warning me. I guess when the giant ship starts hovering next door to the monastery, you sort of might get that impression too.
That's probably why it's abandoned right now. Yeah, all those monks just straight out of there.
We haven't been in all the buildings here. We don't know that it's abandoned. It's likely though. We'll see. Everybody jumps onto the point. Let the battle begin. Okay. Here we go. Rogue in the blue.
Yeah, Argentina really committing to DDX on the Sombra.
Yeah. Oh, we heard about this. I mean, we know what a good Sombra player is. We know that he really likes to prioritize that. And I guess they're just going to run it every round, every map. Interesting. Looking for the hack, couldn't quite find it. France does find purchase on the point as it unlocks. A control meter building up, and it looks like, yeah, oh, maybe not quite. Argentina with a last-minute try to take it first. France backing off. And yeah, just a nice little organized retreat for France, and they are going to get the control percent building early. Nice shot on the Klaus from AKM.
Well, because of the way Argentina, so they had to go through the building, so at least they would have some health packs to hack. Sure. But unfortunately, when AKM is back on this soldier, if they try and just come at the point from around that side, he's got way too much room to work with.
It's just so easy to...
It's just taking out the Sombra.
It's so easy to chase that Sombra down, too, sometimes, when you know that translocator isn't up, and it's going to be tough for DDX on some of these rounds. I mean, when we get to a point like Sanctum, or if this was Lijiang Tower and we were in Control Center, yeah, Sombra, we see it a lot. But things like Shrine, it's an unorthodox pick for this round.
Yeah, certainly is, but he's going to get the EMP anyway.
All right, yeah, Soon goes down immediately afterwards. Klaus looking for another victim in AKM. He finds it, too. Now that Pulse Bomb to use. Not going to need to use it against the Zenyatta, probably. Yeah, Unko taken down with a little bit of help from DDX as well. And Argentina in prime position to flip this one over.
And now they're going to be able to hack health backs on both sides of the point. So this is where it can become very useful to have a Sombra if you're already in control.
Yeah.
Much harder, especially because you have to run across a large amount of open ground. So the EMP becomes much deadlier if you're trying to get through the single choke point, unless you're coming through the actual buildings themselves. But you can see Argentina posting up on the high ground, anticipating that already. But
I mean, unorthodox or not with this DDX Sombra, they certainly know how to use it. They're well practiced with this kind of thing. Nox coming in. Oh, Pulse Bomb. Well, it did get the kill into Soon. Wow, I didn't know if he'd grab anything with that. They've got the sound barrier, too. France coming in short-handed. We'll see what they can pick up. Leviathan with that tac visor. A lot of that getting absorbed, but it does occupy the attention of Nico for quite a while, too. Meanwhile, Argentina picking up some more kills, and Leviathan not even dropping down to half health there. Argentina, they're going to catch up in control percent here.
Yeah, he does have a very good sense of where the D.Va is and what the cooldown is on that defense matrix, because he's getting a ton of kills, actually, more than we saw in any other match so far today with that tactical visor. So his success really working out, and even though we saw Nico get there, it was already after AKM had fallen, so the damage had really already been done. Here's the EMP, and that's the danger of the Sombra.
Oh boy, that's a big EMP. Klaus throws out the Pulse Bomb. Not a big Pulse Bomb here, but a lot of members of France still dealing with that hack. AKM does get the kill in the neck, and Unko, wow, there's a bloodthirsty support move for you. Klaus not surviving that one, and now France with a golden opportunity to flip this point back.
The EMP managed to find a lot of targets, but France immediately disengaged, so couldn't get the damage down and really punish the lack of movement because they walked immediately back through the choke. They were definitely ready for that cooldown, and they are going to be looking to close this map out with Argentina only at that 81% mark.
Yeah. Do you feel like France is starting to sort of get a read on Argentina? You know, because we're seeing the same thing now that we saw in Hollywood, and it becomes a bit transparent over time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it is harder again to... Oh, well, they are going to find that one, though.
All right.
So Klaus actually doing a lot more work in this map than in the last one, winning those duels with Soon, and they are slowly draining this French god. AKM trapped between a Tracer and a Winston.
Not a place I'd want to be.
Certainly not.
DDX with the option to EMP, but he's not going to need it.
This is so dangerous for France too, because if this point flips over, they will basically have one attack to work with, and that means they have to run directly to the point itself, and they can be caught out once again with the EMP, but this time they're not going to have the luxury of being able to fall back if they want to contest.
Well, Wins needs to not get EMP'd. He needs to not get EMP'd and then have that sound barrier to use. All right, there's the EMP. No sound barrier just yet. Leviathan, though, he's got the tac visor, and Argentina going in. They are crushing France right now.
Well,
how's that?
Yeah, they are crushing France, but Soon is actually making a comeback here. Those are some very big kills on the backside of the fight as Nico is able to get his suit back from the self-destruct.
No kidding. Argentina starting to drop a little bit now. Klaus still alive for the moment. He's got to get that pulse bomb up, and he's got to make it count. There's the sound barrier. Got the pulse bomb. Oh, he does manage to stick Nox, but it's just not enough damage with that shield from the Lucio ult. And France flips it back. We're going to go up to 99-99, and there's not a lot Argentina has to use to flip it back.
No, they have to use the Winston double jump with the Primal Rage just to contest the point right now, and that's just not going to be enough, I think, Doa.
We'll see. 1 for 1 so far. Nox does have that Primal Rage to try to keep France alive here, try to claim Shrine. Leviathan goes down already, and yeah, with Uncle ripping people apart on Zenyatta like that, I think Argentina may be in a bit of trouble here on Shrine. Another tac visor used, but France not really even needing to get a whole lot with this one. OT should tick away fairly soon. There it is, and France does take the lead here on Nepal.
Man, Doa, that was really should have been an Argentina win on that point.
For sure.
When you have the control of the point and you have the EMP on Sombra, on Shrine, and you can actually just force them into the open because they have to contest it or you win the match. That they got the perfect EMP, but Nico and Soon 100% clutched that out, and having that great self-destruct kill and Soon picking up one for himself really kept France in that. So credit to Nico and Soon, but Argentina, man, they had such a good opening. They had every advantage and couldn't close it out.
That was one of those moments that's purely carried by the synergy between people that have played together for a long time, right? When you know that Diva ult is going to zone people in a way to set up easier kills for Soon, like, you only get that if you've played with someone for a while.
Well, also, Nico just has a history of having clutch Diva ults at the last second, and France is a team that stays calm under pressure, and that's where those kind of traits pay off. Village is going to be coming up here. We are going to be seeing the Pharmacy.
Yeah, we got Leviathan on the Pharah. He drops a little bit low there. Has to be careful. AKM looking for a kill. Oh, but AKM getting killed by Necta. Kills on both sides, but Argentina taking the early lead in this battle over Village. Interesting. Klaus finds the kill on the Wins, and so it looks like Argentina maybe going to be able to claim this one early as they chase France away, but a lot of members of France respawning now. This one could still be up for contestation.
Well, Argentina is definitely making this map of Nepal extremely close so far, and they are going to get the first cap here. So even though they came out with the Pharah and immediately died, DDX actually picking up a lot of ult charge, already having the res. So Argentina looking for a pretty lengthy hold. They are going to retake up on the high ground, sticking with the Pharah for the time being and just starting to spam those doorways with the rockets.
They've got some of those delay abilities too, right? Oh, Pulse Bomb comes in, but Beast is getting very close to his self-destruct on Diva. Another way to just sort of get a little bit more percentage, you know? France cautiously moving in. There's a self-destruct from Beast Sukin. Oh, wow. Leviathan taking out AKM with the Flying Soldier 76. Gonna back off now. France looking to try to flip this thing. Argentina needs to be careful. There's a tempo res onto Leviathan. Necta goes down immediately afterwards, though. That is a tough res to swallow for Argentina. I think even with that sound barrier, I think it's going to get flipped.
I think you have to use that res sooner, Doa. He was holding that into his pocket. Pharah died very early. We did not get a chance to see DDX's positioning, but probably a bit of a late call there because Necta was already in trouble and dying pretty much immediately thereafter. So it looked like a bit of a mistake in the communication from Argentina. If they had tempo resed the Pharah just a little bit faster, I think they may have had a success holding that. As it stands, though, respectable 53% on the point.
Yeah, man, more than, well, about halfway there, rather. My math is not very good, apparently. 53 is halfway to 100. No, in Doa math, yeah, it totally is. It totally is.
It's basically, you know,
it's just close enough. Close enough. I was an art major, you know. Klaus does go down. France with a good start here. AKM pops that tac visor, but a couple kills coming in for Argentina. They are making a go at it. And without Unko, France may have a little bit of a trouble holding this. He had that transcendence, and they could really use it right now.
DDX with another res already, though, so extended fight giving Mercy a lot of time to get the heals, and they still have to deal with AKM, and they can't do it.
Yep. Oh, Pulse Bomb, not even close. Klaus not hitting that one. Lucio with a lengthy ultimate startup there. Argentina with the double res, though, stays in it.
That res was much better this time, Noah. That's the one you want to hit. Make sure you get a little bit faster. Battle over the point still ongoing there. Klaus getting a lot of free damage on the side. Now it's going to be trying to zone this Tracer out soon. Has to fall back, but he already did the damage. Picked up the kill onto Necta.
Okay. So France gaining some percent now. And Argentina starting to get a bit frantic. They're going to have some ultimates for this next push. But they're ultimates that are kind of tough to pair together. Not a lot of synergy there.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Maybe you could try something like getting the Diva ulted back and zoning them into a barrage, but AKM has been all over Leviathan.
And this is every Far's worst nightmare, right? Like a good 76 that's going to pick you out of the air, no matter if you've got that Mercy behind you or not. He's got the tac visor again, too. So with that Diva suit nearly out of commission, there's not a lot stopping him. There goes Beast, or Battletoad, rather. And that's OT, and that's the map. France will take Nepal 2-0.
Yeah, AKM doing the work there, and as you say, it is just so difficult to deal with that situation when you have the Orb of Discord on you with the Pharah, and of course AKM just known for his incredible aim and his accuracy with the Helix rocket.
So Lucio play the game. All right, let's see. All right, the EMP, that's a nice one. It's okay, boop. Keeps him away. All right, another boop. All right. Well, okay. Well, there's a kill in there.
To pick up some kills at the end there.
Yeah. Play the game.
So at least something. Got like a nice 4-man boop away from the point.
Yeah.
I really do think Argentina had such a huge advantage on Shrine, though. It's a bit disappointing that they were able, they let France sort of slip in the door at the very end. But still a pretty competitive map. And we're going to have Argentina.
Than Hollywood.
Yep, much closer than Hollywood. And Argentina is going to be able to pick the next map as well. So if this is a trend, hopefully we will see some more competitive matches. Even though it was a 2-0, it was a pretty close 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a situation where we could see this one ending up being 2-2. We're going to get a little bit of a break now for Argentina to sort of regroup, address what maybe they could be doing a little bit better. And honestly, it's not a whole lot. They don't really need to fix a huge amount of stuff right now to take some maps off France.
And if you're Argentina, you definitely pick Horizon for the next map because France hasn't been practicing, and they haven't been practicing that map because it wasn't in the pools of previous tournaments. So absolutely you go for Horizon, I think.
That's right. So we will take a quick break, and when we come back, the next two maps in France versus Argentina, guys, should be pretty sick. So we'll see you pretty soon.
The 2017 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, T-Mobile, Union Pay, and Blizzard Entertainment.
to the desk here at the 2017 Overwatch World Cup. It's halftime between Argentina and France. And this certainly has been a bit of an eye-opener for a lot of fans out there. I can only imagine, considering how well France is performing, or excuse me, Argentina is performing against France's Rogue. Rogue, a full team coming off of a huge win from the Beat Invitational, now coming into the Overwatch World Cup. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, they're still winning. So I'm not going to be that guy and say, like, oh, well, you know, France. But I am going to be that guy. And
yeah, I know. I should have practiced.
Maybe just a little,
you know? I mean, yeah, they looked rusty, but in the end, it was still Soon winning those duels against Klaus. Even though Klaus stepped it up on Nepal, I still feel like overall, Rogue, you know, they are still going to be the favorites for this one. But yeah, I think they were a bit surprised themselves about how well Argentina was actually performing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they
I'm struggling a little
undersold
bit to find good excuses right now for France, other than they didn't practice. So.
But they're still winning, and that's what's important. But Seltzer, for Argentina, though, you know, this Hollywood play, it went about the way you would expect it for France, but Argentina showed signs of greatness in this game.
Yeah, there were a lot of moments of brilliance here. We saw a lot of great stuff from Leviathan as far as positioning, as far as timing his ultimate, and working with his team there. And then we saw Klaus doing fantastic backline work. He was so tricky, and we saw a lot more of that on the second map on Nepal. But really, you know, it's like they're evolving every game. I think that's what I can appreciate here.
Yeah, Flame, whatever for you.
I'm in shock. I think the DDX's Sombra was probably the best we've seen in the tournament so far, and even that I've seen in general. He just seems like he's very comfortable. The whole team's very comfortable with it. They all mesh very well, and they all know what's going on, and they look like their communication is just top-notch across the board. I think that they were probably 1 or 2 fights away from winning Hollywood, to be honest with you, and as Doa said, they probably could have been 1-1 at the end of Shrine, or at least Nepal in general. So they have a route in. They just stick to the Sombra. I think don't try the Pharmacy again. I don't think that worked out.
Like, I mean, honestly, against a team like France, which has an AKM, who just has insane tracking, why would you pick a Pharah there?
I mean, it's probably comfort. I've heard Leviathan's probably the best DPS in South America right now. I think that they're just comfortable. It probably could have worked maybe if the D.Va is stuck on AKM a little bit more.
After AKM like kills you like 5 times, you might consider
I'll get res, you know, wait for the Mercy.
And that was what the Mercy was there for, right? But it really came to fruition at the last attack, because that's when, you know, to kind of talk about what Doa was mentioning, they really didn't have ults that would have synergized well together, but at the very least could have caught someone off guard. Losing that Pharah early on in the fight because of AKM and his incredible shot, that had to have hurt. It definitely did hurt, and it really only left him with that one option. But this was the one that really bummed me out, because I'm looking at Argentina here on Shrine. They had that win, Flame. That was theirs. That was theirs. It just... What happened?
It's just eye-opening, you know. I mean, for me, it's just incredible that people are saying that France is like the winner, you know, like they're putting them in that, oh, they're probably going to win the entire tournament. And suddenly Argentina just comes out of nowhere and just almost taking maps off them in the first match of the group stages. So it's kind of crazy to me, but I think that they're just making a lot of fans. You saw Battletoad get play of the game. How often does that happen on a Lucio?
DDX got play of the game?
Yeah, you had DDX on the Sombra, and you even had like the Klaus Tracer. I think he pretty much came out of nowhere, and he was winning the duels with Soon. He was putting up really good, he was putting up really good Tracer stats. So this team is going to become a fan favorite if they can continue this momentum and hopefully escape this stage.
Can I add that Klaus is 16 years old?
Wow. Is he really?
Yeah, I think RKT, one of the committee members, is actually his guardian for this trip. He is possibly the youngest one in our Overwatch World Cup event this year. So really impressive to see this skill at such a young age. God, he's just going to get better.
And performing, you know, on this stage really is incredible. So before we go to a break, I just got to ask you real fast, what does Argentina need to do to get this victory?
I actually disagree with Monty on the Horizon Lunar Colony. I think you go to Volskaya and just take the Sombra. Just keep playing Sombra, play maps that are good for Sombra, and stick to the Sombra, because that is clearly what's going to win them this series, or at least bring it back for a tie. I don't think that you want to take it to a map that's a little more toss-up-y, maybe more skirmish-oriented, and just try to get the picks with the EMPs on the Volskaya chokes. Just play maps that are very Sombra-specific and use that to your advantage as you go forward.
All right, I like that. We'll see. I'm curious to see Mani's rebuttal as well. In any case, so guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, though, we are going to have Argentina versus France. Definitely has turned out to be quite the exciting series. Can't wait to see how this one's going to turn out. So we'll see you in just a few.
between the French team and the other teams. We have the chemistry compared to the other teams. We have the team play because we've been playing together for months, and the other teams are creating themselves just for that specific event.
Well, Rogue is a full team. They had a huge advantage because of that. They had practiced a lot on this year, but well, we are a new team. There's no bots around of us. We had to study a lot of them, and so I think that, surprise, it will be our strong card here.
There you hear it. Argentina not, I like that swagger and confidence, man. I respect that, because yes, we all know that Rogue is a great team. Yes, we all know that they've been a team, so coming into the World Cup, they definitely had the advantage. But let's not forget that Argentina, they were preparing for this for such a long time, Seltzer.
Absolutely. They, we asked them specifically about how they felt going up against France in their group, and they were very confident. They said the VODs are out there. I have the notes here. They said all we got to do is shut down Genji. Obviously, not that simple, but these guys put all this effort in, and I really think that it's starting to show through in their decisions that they're making, except of course in the Pharah situation. But we also have some indication of their thought process on that. Once they choose a hero, they're really not interested in doing switching during the match. They really want to hold on to ult above all else, and that's what's important to them. So that's something to keep in mind as far as their decision making.
Yeah, well, I'm just interested to see if France is going to, I don't want to say take it more serious, but I kind of have to say it that way. Like, I don't know how to put it without
think they're gonna,
sounding I don't know, focus a little bit more. Maybe after those first two maps, taking Argentina a bit more serious. I did talk to AlphaCast prior to the tournament starting, and they did tell me, they did prepare some special stuff as well.
Yeah, and again, this France team, we know how talented they are. Argentina, really, this is their Argentina's everything to gain from this one, and France really, they lose out of this one. This is how it can go in a very negative direction for them, just mentally in this group, especially considering that anything can happen in the group stages here. Who knows? Maybe China loses, and then they end up going, against France. You never know what could happen here, Flame.
Argentina is in a really good spot right now. I think that they're setting a precedent for the rest of this group. I think that they have a lot of potential. I don't think that there's anybody who's not rooting for them in some form right now. I mean, you want to see them do well. They seem like a very likable group of guys, and their play has just been phenomenal. They come out of nowhere. Who expected Leviathan to be able to put up such incredible DPS damage output in general? Who saw Klaus winning 1v1s with Soon? And on top of that, who saw DDX being a standout Sombra player? Who knew, And I think that that's really impressive in itself, and I expect more.
Interesting that you mentioned that too, because they had mentioned there's a lot of material out there, a lot of VODs out there for Rogue, so it's very easy to dissect their play, but there's not that much for Argentina, if at all, really. Right?
Yeah, I mean, also, the casters have been saying it, Rogue has been so transparent in their approach to every single attack they've done. It was just so bluntly obvious what they're going for that does make it easy for Argentina to just shut them down.
Yeah, it's going to be very good. Rachel, are you excited for Argentina?
You know what? I'm excited for Argentina because they also stand for the entirety of the scene down there in South America. So many teams came together, helped them practice. All the top teams down there are rooting for this Argentina home team. So I really want to see that success for them. Maybe they have 2 matches left. They get to pick the maps.
All right, well, it seems like the fans are on Rogue's side. We'll see how all this pans out, though, folks, and send it over to your casters. Doa from Monte Cristo, take it away.
All right, thank you, Golden Boy. Doa and Monte Cristo back with you again for the final 2 maps between France and Argentina. And
I really got to disagree with Flame. We got to get this out of the way.
I do agree. I have no intro.
I do agree with you don't get it. I just got to disagree with Flame.
What?
No. Shh. So with the don't get the intro. Don't get the intro.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
You get Overwatch.
Okay, thank you.
But with the Sombra play, I do agree with the analysis that because DDX has been playing so well, that you want to go towards that. The problem is that if this were a different map pool, if it was Anubis instead of Volskaya,
sure,
then maybe you go for Anubis. But with Volskaya, this has been Rogue's assault map of choice in the last couple of months. In fact, they recently won in a clutch match on Volskaya in Game 7 of the Beat Invitational to close out the series. So I think you absolutely never play Rogue on Volskaya regardless.
Yep.
And when you have Horizon, when you know they have never played this map professionally before, and they haven't had to practice it for other tournaments, that's when you actually go for this. They know this map has been in the pool. Argentina knows the map has been in the pool for months. They they should be very confident in some of their strategies. They will at least have significantly more practice time on it. So I think this is hands down the map you pick.
Yeah, I get it.
You get it.
I get it.
Of course you do.
Sure. All right. Well, here we are. Lunar Colony picked by Argentina to try to get a little bit of momentum going in this series. And, you know, you don't want to play them on a great map. Might as well throw the X factor at them. Throw the map at them that not a lot of people have experience with yet. Winston, you know, I thought he liked peanut butter, but he just like left a full jar in his bed there. I mean, what does that say?
Well, you got the peanut butter outside too, so
yeah,
just floating around on the moon. That's what happens when the apes escape.
Someday, oh my gosh, there's one on the camera. Wait,
it's all paused though, so.
Easel mode. Oh.
It's really not
so
great
you can
security.
Paint the Earth and rockets around it. That keyboard does not have enough keys. I don't know. That, you know, I get like they make like little toy laptops for kids sometimes, but that's going too small, I think. Yeah, Winston's never going to learn anything on that.
Well, I'm curious how we're going to see, because I think this is Argentina's best chance to take a map off of France. This is it. This is probably what they've been preparing for under these circumstances. And we are going to see at least the Reaper come out first here for Leviathan, who has been pretty strong.
That's right.
So far in this series.
That's a defensive Reaper too, as we see France in the red on the attack here on Lunar Colony. And we usually see point A taken very quickly. Let's see if France can deliver. AKM running up to the high ground now. Generally where Soldier wants to be, getting in from behind Argentina. And Leviathan waiting around a corner somewhere, no doubt.
Yeah, Klaus just looking around the side right now, so they are trying to zone soon off and make sure that they can't make a very direct approach to the point right now.
Yep.
And they want France to be on the point. If you have that Reaper, you want them to commit to taking the point where you get in range of those shotguns. So
right.
You're perfectly happy right now if you're Argentina. Just play around the flanks, make sure the Tracer isn't going to get a sneaky pulse bomb onto the backside, and just keep spamming through that door. At some point, France actually has to come in here.
It really does feel like a race between Klaus and Soon to get that first pulse bomb with a point this small. There's a Transcendence coming out very early for Argentina, and they're going to use that to try to push France back. No deaths just yet. But now, I figured as soon as I'd say that, somebody would die. There we go. AKM does go down. Beast gets the kill, and here it comes for Argentina. Although France coming back with a couple of their own, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to push the point now.
Yeah, at that point, once you've committed the Transcendence, I think it was a little bit early. You could just basically stay in that formation forever if you're Argentina playing that far back. So for France, that's a bit of a win. You see the Trans come out. It doesn't really matter if you win the fight any longer, because you're going to come back in and they're just stacking ults.
Got that ult advantage. Unco coming in with his own Transcendence. Moved back for a moment. AKM, though, with that sound barrier, tried to get some kills with the tac visor, but didn't get a lot. Die. Well, maybe not this time for Leviathan. Still trying to fire away with those shotguns, but he's so low. Wraith forms away, and Argentina does lose DDX, and now France starting to finally get a little bit of purchase on the point.
Yeah, they are going to take this, though. And again, you really have to look. That was a very seemingly minor mistake, popping that Transcendence. And you look at it and you say, okay, well, Argentina, they won the fight, but at the same time, France just played the ult economy game better.
Yeah.
And Argentina got sucked into playing France's style. They got a little bit antsy when they should have just stuck to their strategy and forced France to fight directly on the point. Saved the Transcendence for that moment instead. So being down a support ultimate really did hurt them.
So now we have that pretty typical situation on Lunar Colony, whereas the attacking team, you have a ton of time to approach this. So France, these early pushes, unless they happen to go super well, probably aren't going to matter too much. You want to build up some ultimates. You want to come at it with a big advantage.
Yeah,
if you can.
Klaus does get another pick onto Soon, though. That has been one of the big stories of this match, as Klaus keeps finding these kills on especially Nepal and now here on Horizon. So, you know, they did burn some decent time off the clock, at least repelling the first attack or so and having that first fight go for such an extended period of time. But still, 5 minutes that they've got to hold this point for.
Close pulse bomb, but doesn't catch anybody. Soon coming in to try to build up another one. They've got the Transcendence to keep people up for the moment. Now the Transcendence coming in a little bit later for Argentina, and that's going to give them the edge as they start to push France back a bit. And yeah, they're just gonna, I think they're just gonna hold off on this one. Kind of testing the waters there as they build more ultimates. You can see they have the sound barrier for wins, but now is not the time to use it.
No, at this time, Argentina looking more disciplined. They waited for that moment of commitment and answered with a trance of their own. So trading out evenly on this point so far. Now playing on the back, but Klaus actually is gonna die to Nox. That's huge.
That could be big. Sound barrier immediately used to try to shore up the defenses. Leviathan coming in. He's got that tac visor, which France has a little bit of a hard time dealing with. They do take down Necta, but France needs a bit more than that. They haven't even gotten the first tick yet. And yeah, wow, nice kill on Nox as he jumps out.
Leviathan's getting a little bit too much room here, though. Nobody really in his face. And that kill onto AKM on the high ground was really enabled by the tac visor, cutting off the rest of the French squad. AKM holding on to his tac, though, so they will be coming in with an ultimate. Difficult to use, though, as long as we see some decent positioning from Beast.
I mean, France will probably have the Transcendence very soon for this. Nox has that Primal Rage to kind of be disruptive. And here's another one of those Tracer battles. Soon did get the health pack, but he gets taken out.
He was forced to use his rewind first, so Klaus took advantage and all-in'd him right after that. No other way to get the health, so Klaus again clutching through in these Tracer duels, and that is just buying so much time for Argentina.
He had a bit of help from DDX, which is good too, because he kind of needed that Discord Arbon there, especially when Soon was able to get the health pack. So it wasn't quite the 1v1, but Klaus did come out with the kill in the end, which is pretty important. Transcendence for both teams used. Defensively early on for Argentina, around the same timing. We'll see what France can get accomplished here. Klaus does go down early to a dash from Nico. Swapped over onto that Genji. Leviathan, though, still fairly untouched in this back corner. And that's one of the things that makes this point hard to get. Well, it's hard to get back to these areas.
Yeah, but look at what they're doing with France. So Nico switched over to the Genji. Now they don't really have any pressure besides burst damage to come down onto Leviathan, who really has been untouched for this match and nearly up for another tac visor right now. So they have to have a very decisive strike onto the backline. Soon has to be able to deal some damage onto the Soldier 76 of Argentina, but Klaus is just intercepting him every time.
France drops the sound barrier. They are going in. A lot of ultimates used with the smart stick. Unko and AKM taken down by Klaus.
Play.
What a defensive ult from Klaus.
Oh man, you're so happy too, because
seriously,
you saw Wins drop the sound barrier and then you pick up the sneaky double kill with the pulse bomb. That is an incredibly good trade for Argentina.
And it seemed like that was possibly the fight that France wanted to make that big commitment with, and they pulled it back. They saved some of the ultimates, but losing that Transcendence early, you'd build it up again really fast, but that was a tough one to lose for France. They're running out of time.
Yeah, and even though they have a couple of clutch DPS holds from the Soldier 76 and the Genji, as long as Battletoad has good timing on that sound barrier, there is the possibility of him getting a pretty big victory from that.
Well, sound barrier comes in perhaps a little bit early. France can just pull back and wait it out. Don't know about that. AKM with the tac visor now. Beast comes in to try to disperse that a little bit. Meanwhile, Nico getting into the back. Got to deal with that Transcendence, though, on the side of Argentina. DDX keeping people up, letting Klaus get that kill onto Nico's Genji. And Argentina still holding strong.
Yeah, maybe a couple pushes left from France, depending on if Wins can stay alive. And looks like he will be able to back off into the end, is not going to get staggered and be out of sync with the spawns of the rest of his team. France, though, I think they blew that a little bit. They had a really good window because Battletoad actually used the sound barrier a little bit too early and didn't manage to protect Klaus either. So there was an opportunity for a big 6v5, but they couldn't find the kills with either the tac visor or the Dragon Blade.
Yeah. Well, here comes the defense again as France pushes in one more time. Soon does get the kill into Leviathan. That's a pick they've been looking for all match long. Transcendence for France, again, to try to build a bit more momentum. As they take this point, they're up to about 80% now, continuing to build. Argentina, they need to get back on there. Necta goes down, though. It's all Leviathan. He's got to stay alive. He's on the biotic field. DDX gets a kill onto AKM, and there's the sound barrier for France. This is a push, and they do get it. 17 seconds left on the clock, but taking point B on this map is really big.
Absolutely, and the initial kill onto Leviathan opened up for France. They are able, in this series, really to just clutch out at the very end. Every time it looks like Argentina's going to have a good hold. Somehow in the waning seconds of the round, they're able to get the necessary kills and the necessary team fights, but man, is it close.
Well, I think a big part of that was that Leviathan went down at the very beginning of that fight.
Yes, he
so
did.
they had to wait for him to come back, and he did come back, but it was a bit too late, you know?
Yeah, DDX also didn't contest the point. He probably would have died immediately, but he was on the high ground, did get the kill onto AKM, but didn't try and take a shot at falling down and delaying it just a little bit longer.
You know, props to Argentina, though. They did hold France to just 70 seconds left, or 17 seconds rather, left on the time bank. So, you know, they held for a long time.
Yeah, and we are seeing at least some, I think, of the rust of France right now because their ult economy has not been great. A lot of their calls about when to use those ultimates have seemed just a little bit off. But still, I mean, you can't deny the raw skill of this roster. And that is propelling them to at least squeak by with the 17 seconds here on Horizon.
Yeah, it's still a tall order for Argentina. I mean, taking both points is tough. That Roomba needs some servicing, obviously. A DDX back on the Sombra.
I mean, there's nobody
again.
there to clean for anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
I mean,
you're just making more of a mess by shooting everything.
It's also like polluting the air. There's a ton of smoke coming out of it, which means it's on fire somewhere. So how in the world? That's a very well-built Roomba, actually, to be on fire for that long. Impressive.
Just the wonders of technology in the future, Doa.
Take time to stop and smell the hydroponic flowers.
I actually think I'm more amazed by the fact that there's a moon base with like a hydroponics bay than I am that the Roomba is on fire and still working. But you know, you take your wonder where you get it.
To each their own. I think Roombas are pretty cool. They're good at distracting dogs and play-by-play casters. We'll see if France can defend against the attack from Argentina here on point A. DDX, like we mentioned, once again on that Sombra. Got to build up. That EMP soon goes down early. Klaus has just been winning these duels over and over again. Man, what a story in the making for this kid. Again, he's just 16 years old, so to be doing this well at the very beginning of his career, good signs for this guy.
Yeah, Argentina, they are playing pretty far forward right now, and they are going to have to go back, though, with one death on their side so far, so couldn't actually capitalize too well on that point. But this is just a ridiculous duel. He's actually cut off inside the base, but now he's got to go.
Oh, it's so close. 31 health for Klaus. What a duel. Waiting for it. Soon so low, man. 10 health now. Can he get him? Oh, we're not going to fire down, I guess.
Soon was.
Oh, Soon was able to take that duel off screen. Meanwhile, France doing something a bit more important than a Tracer duel as they do defend against the push from Argentina.
Yeah, I'll go to getting up the EMP, but you look at what was happening there, and it was a bit cocky from Argentina. So basically, I don't know if I agree with trying to come back for Soon. Yes, Argentina lost a member there, so they were just trying to win the duel and then have their own Tracer Klaus double back and try and take the point, but it did go on a bit too long.
There's the EMP from DDX.
The EMP from Unco, actually.
Oh, Unco, yeah, my bad.
But, but they actually are back capping it right now. There is a Sombra on the point, and nobody from France is there.
Wow, all right. And DDX making a little bit of progress here. The duel against Soon. Soon has to back out. Wow. Soon getting out-dueled a little bit.
Oops. Well, you can get pinched there by a Winston and a Tracer. And
that does help.
That is going to be it. So DDX will have the EMP advantage, though. So Argentina managed to make sure that Unco was not going to potentially have that one up for the next fight, although he is getting dangerously close once again.
Yeah, Wynn's very close to the sound barrier, so France is going to have a pretty strong defense. Nico about to have that Dragon Blade.
Well, Unco just died at 93%.
You know, yeah, with Unco falling there, might be different. EMP was used. Soon looking for a pulse bomb target. Meanwhile, Leviathan just trying to find what he can with that tac visor. They have the sound barrier to keep him up, and Argentina winning this fight. Soon, it's all on him, and he may have to back off. Yeah, he had that pulse bomb. Could have gone for a big play, but I think you reset here.
I just love all the Tracers pistol whipping each other here on this side, and finally the reinforcements arrive to help out Tracer. They are trying to get back onto the point. There's an EMP, but Unco going to fall right into a lightning gun.
I mean, he's probably going to swap now at this point. There's no other reason you would use the EMP in that situation.
Yeah, sort of a last-ditch effort, but if he doesn't switch, though,
Unco.
That would be potentially quite awkward, Doa.
I think a swap to Zenyatta would be perfectly fine here, but he is staying with the Sombra. Okay, Nico does go down too. Argentina charging onto the point. France has that sound barrier. They need to win this fight pretty hard, though.
At least they're going to get a D-suit, but they are still a man down. Klaus going to pick up wins, but Unco will at least...
Battletoad getting aggressive there, man. Chasing people down. Beast does get the kill into Unco here. It's a brawl, man. Oh, not anymore. Oh, both Tracers going down, and Beast just with Mini Diva looking for another opportunity to get that mech back, but it's gonna take a bit more time.
Yeah, that said though, another EMP going to be available for Argentina, and Unco still working back up to his. He's just been sticking to this Sombra so far, so dangerous situation for France, depending on how well this EMP can be used.
Yep. Unco's getting pretty close to that EMP now. And you know, the thing is, I understand the pressure to stay on the Sombra because you don't want all of your health packs hacked around your defensive holding.
Klaus got a kill though before they can actually get the EMP off, and there it goes. Soon stuck in the corner, and that's a self-destruct.
Yeah, Beast gets a kill there. Argentina storming through DDX with the double kill. That was a great EMP from him. And if they can take down Nico, there's the hack. Oh, there's the kill though. Nico does get DDX, but that is some major percentage being built up by Argentina.
Yeah, they get up to 2 ticks, and the hack came through before the actual Dragon Blade could be pulled. Now, they are going to have to back off. Respawns here just too close for France. Argentina has the time to work with, but now they only have 1 tick remaining. One decisive fight here in the next 3 minutes could turn this for Argentina, and they could match France in terms of point score.
All they really need to do is just be patient here. Take a little bit of time. Build up some more ultimates.
Yeah, absolutely. And they know Unco's down on the EMP right now, so they also are aware that Nico has the Dragon Blade from the hack earlier, so just they need to play around that, and they should be able to take it.
Pushing in now, don't expect a lot of ults to be used here on the side of Argentina. I would think Battletoad, he actually tried to go for the sound barrier, but got taken out mid-ult. France gonna win this one. Yeah, Argentina, you don't, well, okay, well, DDX being very tricky on that Sombra, again, getting a little bit more percentage built up, but if you're Argentina, you do exactly what they're doing. You back off. You don't really commit.
I think it was a mistake for Leviathan to come in and use his tac visor as well. The initial kills had already been gained in favor of France. And at least AKM, though, is desuited temporarily, though he is going to resuit right now. So, window of time not really there. EMP is available. Can he get it? Does manage to hit a few.
That's the EMP. Soon with the stick on the Beast, he's going to get popped out of that mech. Looking for the kill. Now they take out Leviathan. And this is a bit more of a solid defense from France coming in. Necta did get the kill on the AKM, but it's still looking pretty good for the red team here. Yeah, Necta on the retreat. Soon does get hacked. And Klaus going for the kill. Ooh, he missed the melee. Yeah, back out. Yeah.
Argentina's just getting too desperate. They're over-committing to ultimates on every one of these fights when they had time just to go ahead, build up to 6, and try and at least force France to use some of theirs. But France, to their credit, has remained stalwart. Soon, with the quick kills, makes it so that France doesn't have to commit any ultimates of their own to these defenses.
Here we go. EMP used by France. Klaus throws into Pulse Bomb right after that. DDX already down. He had made that swap over to Zenyatta now as well. It's a brawl. Nico can pull out that Dragon Blade if he feels the need. France playing a pretty aggressive defense here, kind of chasing Argentina back as they buy themselves a bit more time. And man, it is a heartbreaker for Argentina to come so close. And I think you're right. I think it is just a little bit of over-eagerness, right? They don't have that patience that they need right now to close this map out, because really this should be an attack round that they should finish with a much better time bank thing.
It's just a few instances of miscommunication, and DDX dies to Nico after the sound barrier. That is rough. They're falling apart here at the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think France may have a good opportunity to hold here. They've only got to last for another 35 seconds or so, and they have got a ton of ultimates, 6 ultimates to do it with.
Yeah, France has definitely looked very good on this defense so far, but Argentina, unfortunately, really hasn't been able to make it competitive.
Yep. Here we go. EMP used by Unco. This is a chance for France. It was not supposed to rhyme. Doesn't matter. AKM got a couple kills. Whoa, it's self-destruct fever here as Argentina tries to fight back, but they've lost too many. And now with just 10 seconds remaining, can they get the delay? Can they go for some sort of desperation fight? It's going to be tough to even get there.
They're playing on the chokes right now. Klaus has to zip in and then immediately recall out. This is it for Argentina.
A nice pulse bomb on the Nectus, soon getting a good start for France. Getting a couple kills as Klaus goes down at the crucial moment. Beast out of the mech, doesn't get the call down like he wants to, and Argentina not going to be able to finish this one out. This is going to be a team kill and a win for France on Horizon Lunar Colony.
Oh man, that was just so close for Argentina though. Getting the 2 ticks with about 3.5 minutes remaining. France again though, when their backs are against the wall, they buckle down. Really, you could see the communication and the ult economy become much better and much more conservative in terms of how they're chaining their ultimates together. And it's that discipline and skill as a team that really comes through for France.
That's right. There are a lot of good D.Va self-destructs there. And I know the song goes, "Don't cry for me, Argentina," but right now I feel like, "Don't cry for Argentina, me," because it's so tragic seeing them come this close. I'm shedding a tear, man. It's tough.
I mean, honestly, it is impressive, though, for Argentina to be this close against a team of Rogue Excalibur, who is undoubtedly one of the top teams in the West. It may be 3-0, but these have been very, very close maps so far.
They really have, yeah. And I mean, France certainly with the strength to win this map, but maybe a little bit of a wake-up call here going forward that the level of competition is going to be, intense. It's going to be real.
Yeah, I really do feel for Argentina, though, because it did seem that they were better prepared, I think, for Horizon. And I think there was really an opportunity for them to hold out longer on point A in particular, but they just got a little bit too antsy and committed when they probably shouldn't have. And when you're playing against France and these guys that have have been practicing nonstop for the last 6 or so months since that big trade occurred, and made this all French roster on Rogue, they will take advantage of those windows.
That's right. But that said, I mean, Hollywood was pretty one-sided for Rogue, but both Nepal and this last map now very, very close. So sure, is Argentina not going to come out with is Argentina going to not come out with the win on this one? There we go. I got it out. No, they're not going to get the win. Could they still take the last map? Absolutely. It's still possible for them to at least get a single map, which in, these groups could end up being important.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the reality is now that this last map was probably their best chance to get a point, just due to the level of practice that these two teams have had on Horizon. But who knows? Maybe they got something special planned for us for Escort. But again, these are going to be maps that Rogue is very familiar with.
I think so. Yeah. And they did come closer on Horizon Lunar Colony than any of the other maps so far we've seen too. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Overall, yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, it's going to be tough. So I'm curious. It looks like we're going to see Route 66 from looking over there. So can France come back and complete this 4-0? But as far as we expected this to be a win from France coming in.
Sure.
And the question really was going to be, how strong is Argentina here? And they're putting up a fight to which there is still a chance for them to come out of this group for sure. We'll have to, of course, see the next match and gauge the strength of some of the other teams. But
just think about Klaus, right? I mean, this kid is having the performance of his life here right now. I mean, despite, win or loss, I'm very impressed by Argentina. And I think a lot of people out there are really going to take notice of some of the guys on this team.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with Rachel saying how young he is, only 16.
Yeah, 16.
So hopefully a long Overwatch career ahead of him.
Certainly. Well, we are indeed going to Route 66 for our final map in this Overwatch World Cup 4-map series. We're going to Route 66. We live in California now, and so we're fairly close to Route 66, but I guess we won't be for a while this month.
I mean, I'm just surprised they're still calling it Route 66, because Route 66 doesn't exist anymore at all, though.
Really?
It's just a memory now, and it's even more of a memory in the future.
I suppose. Hey, I mean, maybe Route 66 still exists in Overwatch.
Well, maybe they rebuilt it. I mean, there's still historical parts of Route 66, but the road itself is a relic.
Oh, well. Still a great place to store some missiles. Yeehaw.
That was a very American sentence you created right there.
I know, right? I'm learning. I lived in Korea for 6 years. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I look at a place, and I'm like, Could put some missiles right there.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw. There's a good place for machine gun and a picture of a cowboy. Yeehaw. That's right.
I'm glad you're rediscovering your Americanness, though.
I'm trying. You know, I'm really trying. Things have changed a lot since I lived there last, and you know,
by the time we
get back in the swing of things.
By the time we get to the last stage, I know you're going to be there with your 10-gallon hat and bolo tie.
That's right. Hashtag MAGA, hashtag winning, hashtag whatever it is. I don't know.
Shooting your revolvers into the air indiscriminately.
That's right. As I do, you know, most times when walking down the street. Who doesn't, you know? That's how it is. Eating some roadkill, trespassing, even though there's a no trespassing sign there, because this land is my land, this land is your land, but, you know, so I can trespass.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Well, now that you've all learned a little bit more about the United States, let's go to this map. We're so educational.
No stereotypes there at all.
No, not at all. No. Argentina on the attack here on Route 66. France trying to shore up the defense on Big Earls, as you often see. And DDX not going with the Sombra, sticking with the Zenyatta this time around. Wins, gets stopped by Necta. Good start as they lose Nox as well. So Argentina actually getting a pretty good push going here. If they can deal with Soon. Uh-oh, Soon's like, yeah, I better. Don't mind me. Don't mind me, I'm just Tracer, just visiting.
Just finally goes down. Actually does get staggered pretty badly there, so the payload going to keep rolling soon. Just seeing if he could maybe stop it for a little longer by coming in at the very end using that rewind, but not going to have much of an opportunity. And the rest of the team Argentina coming back from the spawn now, supports there.
Yep.
Moving over to the high ground opposite of Big Earls.
And Klaus looking for more victims. They take out Nox again. They've been actually doing a pretty good job of hunting him down, and the sick melee finisher onto Unko means this payload is going to keep moving for the moment.
That's a stick. That's a big stick.
Got the double kill. And Argentina coming out strong on Route 66.
That's right. You can tell Klaus is an American right now, too, because he's carrying a big stick, though.
I guess so. Not speaking softly, though, man. There's voice lines everywhere in this game. That's a reference everybody will get. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Well, France has to back off a little bit. They had a little bit of time to reset here on the streets phase. So Argentina, though, good strong start.
Definitely, but France has pretty much on all of these maps started out a little bit weaker, but ramped it well up by the time the map ends. So maybe seeing the same thing here is, of course, very difficult to finish out all 3 points on Route 66.
Self-destruct comes through, but no kills claimed. Beast actually gets back into the mech, which is good, but look at this, man. Argentina, again, winning this fight handily. Only a single kill for Nico onto Leviathan, and with the respawn so close for the offense with the payload where it is, that's not a big deal for Argentina at all.
No, not at all. France at least is coming up on some big ultimates though, Unko. Not close to the trans, but everybody else going to be there quite quickly. Argentina, though, their ult economy has been used a bit better. Maybe didn't have to throw out the self-destruct on that last push, but everything else looking good for them.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get a good push started at least. Unko going down immediately. Wow, Klaus is getting better every map, isn't he? AKM going for the Hail Mary. No kills with that pulse bomb, though. Meanwhile, Soon goes down. Klaus is just on fire right now. Takes out Nico. This kid is unstoppable.
Yeah, he's doing great. A little bit of a slow start on the first map of this series, but since then, he has been absolutely amazing against one of the top Tracer players here at the Overwatch World Cup.
I mean, for being on a team that's down 0-3 in this 4-game series, he has continued to look better every single map.
Well, Wins is being kind of left out to dry here as well. They've got to stop the rest of Argentina from killing their Lucio player first every time.
That might help a little bit. All right, Dragon Blade time. And it looks like France is finally going to get a little bit of a hold going, courtesy of the Genji ultimate. Nico gets the 3-kill, and that'll be the cleanup. Argentina finally having to back up and reset a bit.
Yeah, they are. They did have to use the Primal Rage and the Dragon Blade, though, but Argentina not really looking too good in terms of ultimates themselves. So this may be a little bit of a hold here for France, as Argentina going to have to be methodical in their approach right now.
Yeah, only close to 3 ultimates right now. Could get the self-destruct Transcendence fairly soon on the Argentina side of things. Pulse bomb up for Klaus. We know what he's done with that in the past. So DDX goes down. Now they're finally getting a little bit better about hunting down these support players. France starting to stabilize big time.
I mean, DDX came around the corner right there, peeked, and then ate a right click from Unko. So that's just an unfortunate early pickoff for Argentina. But France manages to make another hold without having to use either of their support ults. So very important pickoff right there.
Sure enough. Argentina trying to take the long way around, being a little bit sneaky with the engage. They are pretty close to taking point B now. Soon getting into the back lines, and that's going to be a problem for DDX. So low, has to pop the Transcendence to stay alive, but he's already lost a few members of the team. I do not think that was worth it.
You have to be willing to wipe right there if you're DDX. Totally. The kills were already through. Yes, Soon was getting damage onto you, but again, France, the later we go into these games, the more they tighten up their defenses, and this time they just win the ult economy battle once again, and Argentina is going to be in a very desperate situation for the rest of this attack.
We're starting to see that sort of frantic part of Argentina's play, where they get into these situations nearly every map, and suddenly they start to panic. Suddenly they don't use ults efficiently anymore, and here we are again, you know? Sound barrier comes in, but where's the follow-up? Sound barrier for France as well. And what's Argentina left with at the end of all this? Not a whole lot.
It's actually okay for Argentina. They're going to have another push, though, and France layered their support ultimates in that last fight. So using both of them at the same time means that they may have overcommitted and given Argentina a small window. DDX is going to have well, if he doesn't die right here and get brutally staggered, that's not good. There still should be enough time to get him back. And at least he's going to...
that's a problem.
Oh, that is huge.
Goodbye, Necta. Well, that's a big stick.
Oh, man. There was definitely an opportunity for Argentina now. They're going to have less time to work with. Some of them should still be able to get back to that cart, but Necta dying so late is going to be an issue.
Yeah, 3 ultimates to use. I mean, pairing that EMP with the TAC visor could be devastating for France. They're going to need to come up really big with these ultimates.
Here we go.
EDX going up. There's the EMP. Where's the TAC visor? Leviathan. He's not there.
He's getting chased around by the Winston Doa. He hasn't had any time to use his. Can't even get to the health back.
What a tragedy for Argentina.
Oh, no.
Almost certainly the end of their push here. It is the end of their push. Nico with the Dragon Blade. Yeah, Necta may have gotten the kill, but France with the numbers advantage big time. Unko fighting back a bit. And that should be pretty soon. The OT bar ticking down. Argentina keeping it alive for the moment, and that is not a TAC visor that's going to do a whole lot. Sorry, Leviathan.
Your bullets just vanishing, melting into thin air.
Getting matrixed. That's the past tense of matrix, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think I'm right on that one. Well, France holding strong on the second stage here, and you know, it's the same old story every single map. Argentina coming out strong, and then when the pressure's on, these guys fall apart a bit.
That delay was just so heartbreaking for Argentina, though.
Yeah.
But Nox, again, good communication from France. They knew the Leviathan was trying to get into position for the TAC visor, and Nox was there just chasing him around in the back line, and he had no protection, and that soldier is going to have a really tough time with the Winston in his face. So because of that, they couldn't get the engage they wanted, and that was just about it. Argentina coming so very close to pushing through at least that second point there. That really did hang on a razor's edge after France made the mistake of layering their support ults.
Yeah.
So that,
well,
you know, Flame said it on the desk, a lot of these, it's been 1 or 2 fights away, really. It has been really, really close.
Yeah, easily the closest series of the night here. And I mean, despite it being probably a 4-0 for France, as we look at the fact that France doesn't really need to push it all that far to take the win, it should be achievable. You know, it's definitely one of the closest series of maps I've seen in a while.
Yeah, and at least we get to see DDX again probably on the Sombra here. I do think that using Sombra on the defense on the first point of Route 66 can be good, of course, because the big health pack is so centrally located in the gas station that you have a lot of ability to take advantage of that when it's on the lower cooldown.
Yeah. So you think they kept the truck running while they piled a bunch of crates around it? The wheels still looked like they were on there. Huh. Don't know if that's a good idea.
Why do they just have platforms rotating in circles on the ceiling, Doa? That seems like not, you know, pretty inefficient use of resources and energy.
you ask that question, but then my answer is, where else would Bastion sit? Where's he going to be if you don't have a moving platform to sit on in turret form? There you go. Check and mate.
I lose. You're right.
Thank you. France on the attack. Let's just move on at this point. France on the attack here, only having to push it about 2/3 of the way through. Hi, Soon. Through point B. Soon very confident that defense matrix will save his life. And they know exactly where that Sombra is going to be. DDX, a bit predictable.
I mean, you can know where she's going to be, but you can't stop the translocator going back to that health pack. But you can stop Leviathan as Nox gets onto him once again.
That's right.
Well, that's
payload rolls.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty quick attack there. But DDX probably will be able to get the EMP up prior to them actually moving the cart all the way to point A. So there will be another chance here for Argentina to defend, and they will be able to do it with an EMP.
Yep, DDX just back now. It's going to be a close call. Getting there in time. It is going to be really tight. He's probably going to have a few members of his team kind of delay for a moment. Klaus is there, working as best he can to just stop that payload for a moment. DDX on the run back. There's the EMP now. Where's the follow-up? Oh, that's not the follow-up Argentina was looking for. AKM popping the Diva out of the mech, getting the kill as well. And France...
Yeah, they only got Soon out of that because France was already posted on the high ground.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the cleanup they're looking for as Unko grabs a couple of kills and France already through point A. 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Argentina to defend. It's possible, but unlikely.
It is unlikely. And they're not going to have a good fight, at least to start things off here. DDX trying to get into the back lines and at least make sure he can control some of these health packs. But Nox is ready for him, knows exactly where he's going to be. And France is pushing very far forward and even using the primal rage soon with 2 kills on the pulse bomb. And that is going to make so much room for the payload here for France.
France is done with this match, man. They are getting so aggressive on the offense, blocking the spawn, camping it, just making sure Argentina can't even get out to defend.
Well, that was just such a great double play there by Nox and Soon at the choke point. Yes, they had to use both ults, but 100% worth it considering France has all of the rest of their ults to use right now.
I'll go with the Transcendence as the defense keeps moving. Nekta does go down and nobody to defend against this tac visor now for AKM. Tons of damage brought against the Argentinian team. And this is almost the end of things, I would say, for Argentina. Putting up a good fight in the previous maps, but Rogue is pretty much right there. DDX using the invisibility to delay the payload for a little bit. Clever move with the Sombra, something you absolutely have to do. And it bought time for his team to get back. So let's see, they need a big defense here. Soon going down is certainly a good start.
Yeah, Unko, though, just trying to target out the rest of these aggressive supports that are trying to zone him away. Nico in a bit of trouble, though, and Argentina may be able to hold this for the moment. Wins.
Whoa, I can fly.
Wow.
AKM taking the power of flight next level, but then not quite surviving the landing. Either way, Argentina able to stabilize a bit here on the defense, but they've got to defend for another 3 minutes. And that's still going to be pretty tough, especially with a couple good ultimates up for France right now.
They also have a desuited Diva, so another problem, but the EMP gets recharged.
Yeah, doesn't hit Unko though, and I don't think that EMP had a lot of members of France.
Yeah, it was also a bit too late, unfortunately, to cancel the sound barrier, Doa, which would have been the best opportunity to use it. So that's going to be a win here for France, 4-0, but Argentina certainly giving them a run for their money.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a great score for France to have. 4-0s are really important to have in this group stage, but at the same time, Argentina has shown themselves as a team that absolutely needs to be taken seriously in this tournament.
Yeah, but you can, even though this Argentinian team has been practicing together nonstop, for the last couple of months, it's still very, very tough to come against one of the very top teams in the world in France and have that competitive match. So regardless of what we've seen, Argentina's still very much alive, and that's just beautiful.
Well, Klaus with the play of the match here, but to me, he's the player of the match. What a debut for this guy here at the Overwatch World Cup. Fantastic play on Tracer. Really winning a lot of duels against Soon, which is not an easy thing to do. Soon,
no.
easily one of the best Tracers out there, and Klaus really gave him a run for his money.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed
here.
by Argentina. You know, you look at these guys and it's just a couple of mistakes here and there, but against a team of France's caliber, they're able to exploit them. France, though, I feel like the longer the matches went on, the more polished they looked. But a few mistakes in the beginning did manage to stabilize and clutch out a couple of those maps.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's towards the end. That was kind of more the France that we were expecting coming into this one. In this case, I will say the Rogue we were expecting coming into this one. We've seen that huge level of play before, you know, like we said, just coming off of that finals at the Beat Invitational and, you know, shaking up a bit of rust here perhaps, a little bit of jet lag perhaps, but showing up with the 4-0.
Yeah, and I do expect that France will only just continue to get stronger as this tournament progresses. Now they've got some more time on the stage to get back into the groove.
That's right, so we're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, we'll see what the desk has to say about that match.
The 2017 Overwatch World